Welcome back to another episode of Burn the Ship, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. I have another friend here, a new connection of mine. Actually, just had a conversation about what is the value that we want to bring you guys on this podcast, which is always highly appreciated. So, thank you for being here, my friend. Our goal is to connect entrepreneurs with professionals that can help you go all in on your business. People that have already walked that walk, been through those experiences, and figured out worked well for them. Our goal is to be able to kind of shorten up that learning curve for all you guys out there that are planning on starting your own small business or are already walking down that road yourselves. So, without me stealing all your thunder, my friend, why don't you tell us a little bit about who you are and what you do?
That's great. My name is Dr. Matt Green, and I'm a chiropractor. I practice in Montclair Village, and that's located in Oakland, California. And I love what I do. I did massage and personal training before becoming a chiropractor, and the aha moment for me was I knew I wanted to help people in a much more significant way. And jumping out into my own business, I'm sure as everybody feels, can just be breathtaking, if you will, in a good way and a very scary way too. So I'm excited to hear, to tell my story, and what I did and the obstacles that I went through to get to where I am.
Sure. Well, I think one of the beautiful things about your industry is that you really can't be successful or pioneering in your industry without an extremely positive attitude a lot of times and a desire to help people. That's why I've really enjoyed, and I'm sure some of the people that listen to the podcast have noticed lately that we've talked to a lot of health and wellness related professionals, whether they be, I actually don't think we've talked to a chiropractor, but I love talking to people like in the hyperbaric therapy area and neurofeedback therapy area because you have to have this enormous desire to make an impact in the people's lives that you're working with. So tell us a little bit about that story for you, how you kind of transitioned your way into chiropractic and how it kind of filled that need, that desire to help people for you.
Yeah, sure. I remember the exact moment. I was doing massage for a chiropractor, and someone who got in a really bad car accident turned around to me. I remember the exact moment and said, God, what's causing my pain? And I knew that I couldn't answer her question or help her with the tools that I had. So I decided to go off to chiropractic school so that I could get more to the source of the problem. And
Where'd you go to
it was right.
chiropractic school?
I went to Life Chiropractic College West. And
Doesn't everybody?
it isn't everybody, yeah. That's the school. Well, that and then Life University.
Hmm.
They're just I think they got their fingers on the button. They know the trends that are happening today, and I think they're just following them. And they're great schools.
Yeah, absolutely. Life's like 15 minutes from me. The
Oh yeah,
Atlanta,
that's
the
right.
Marietta based campus. Yeah, they're awesome. So we have
Yeah,
like you can from anywhere that you can walk within like 50 miles of me, you can hit a golf ball to a chiropractor.
right, right,
Yeah,
right,
people come down there now and they don't leave. Yeah, they
yeah,
love it here. So yeah, life is great.
yeah.
Cool. So
Totally,
they
totally.
so you got out, you went back to chiropractic school and you kind of filled that void of, hey, I'm going to be able to kind of get to the root of some of these problems for some of these people. How did you get into business? How did you start after that? Did you go right
Yeah,
into owning your own
I had
practice?
an interesting path. I worked for lots of different people for about 10 years. So, and especially that 2008 crash, it was so amazing to be underneath someone else's business, so that she could take a brunt of that. I had a lot of time to really develop myself as a practitioner. And I remember the exact moment too when I decided, aha, I need to have my own place. She's an amazing chiropractor, still a good friend of mine, Dr. Augie Bond. I'm thankful for her so much, for all that she taught me. And it was just time. It was time for me to go out on my own and face that scary moment of, like, being out all by myself. But I knew that it was right. And I knew that the way that I saw to be able to help people in that process, I just got excited about it. I just had a spark. And I think that that's the thing that I followed, was that spark of confidence. I had no idea how to do it. I had no idea. There was so much that I didn't know. Um, but I think that I had that spark of confidence that really kind of moved me through that whole process.
Sure. So tell me a little bit about that process, because I think you're talking to in the audience a lot of people who are really in that phase of, or in that mindset, if you will, of following that spark that they have of creativity and passion about their business. So
Yeah,
you're Dr. Matt Green, you are well developed as a practitioner, you understand the world of chiropractic.
yeah,
And today you've had your aha moment of, okay, I need to go get my own place. Talk me through some of those next set of challenges. Talk me through becoming your own
yeah,
person, your own
yeah.
business.
There's no way I would have been able to do it without other people. It had to be. There's lots of little magic moments. I mean, one is I was part of a international organization called BNI,
Oh
Business
yeah,
Network.
I love BNI. Yeah, we're all
Yeah,
members of BNI.
yeah, it's great. It's great. So I think that chapter was about 25 people, and when I counted at the very end of that process, about 18 of that 25 had some kind of role to play in my having this business. I knew that I wanted to buy another business. I had the like I got to find a business broker, and then the next day Bob Hager comes to visit that BNI chapter, and I asked him what he did, and he was like, "Well, I'm a business broker." I was like, "There it is, universe putting that person right in my lap."
Oh yeah.
And so, the business broker, the architect, the contractor, the marketing, the graphic designer, all of those components. The QuickBooks advisor, all these things. And there's so much to know in terms of, hey, when do I set my payroll? I didn't know you set it on the 11th and the 26th. Things come in the mail all the time where I open it up and I'm immediately overwhelmed. And it's so good to establish relationships with people so I can call them and ask them, like, what does this letter mean? To like, hey, don't worry about that. You can just recycle that, or that's really significant, and here are the steps to do. And now I've been in business for 10 years by myself, and those things don't tend to overwhelm me anymore. But I think starting out to make relationships with people, whether it be BNI or any other organization, I think that's certainly a key to my success.
Yeah, BNI is huge.
Yeah,
BNI is definitely huge. It was a huge part of our success in business as well. Just because I think that as a salesperson, because my company, my business is credit card processing, so we're working very B2B, very sales oriented. And I think that I developed all of like the little bit of sales game that I had early on from mimicking people that I met in BNI. Like people that were already very confident about their product and knew how to talk about it and had, their pre-closes down and these phrases that they've said 1,000 times during the process of closing someone. I'm like, okay, I see a lot of value in this room here for the people that I'm talking to be able to kind of point me in the right direction as far as sales goes. So I actually learned a lot from those people about, what is sales. I didn't know until I entered that room in that realm of BNI. So it's been very, very helpful for me as well. Um, Talk
yeah.
to me about some of those challenges that you had once you kind of moved into your own space. You started having your own clientele. I'm sure you started doing some hiring. What went well and what was challenging?
Well, the challenging part was certainly I'm a boss.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, I'm a practitioner. Get on the table. There's a real comfort there, but all of a sudden it's like I'm here to tell people what to do, and these people are sitting there waiting for me to tell them what to do, and it was like, whew, that was a real challenge. There was a lot of not knowing. There was a lot of kind of walking around in a dark room, in terms of how do I establish this new role as a boss. 10 years later, I'm certainly much more at ease and comfortable with that, but still, that's still where there's a challenge there. So, how do I bring being authentic and feeling connected with people and still bring an authority and still bring clarity of leadership to people? How do I do that? Because I think in the very beginning, I had it that if I tell people what to do, then I'm going to start to disconnect myself from them. And I never wanted that. I want to always feel like I'm connected with people. So I think that that's an art. I think that that's an art that is developed over time to stay connected, stay listening, and yet still lead with a sense of strength to give people ease. Because I think that's one other thing that I've learned throughout the years is that employees feel uncomfortable when there's leadership not telling them and giving them a strong sense of what to do.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's
Yeah,
very commonly believed that like the biggest enemy of employees or salespeople is lack of clarity on their next step. Like that is a huge barrier to break down for new hires, new employees, new salespeople.
yeah, yeah. And I think that if I could give anything to people who are just starting, when I finally just kind of like broke down and told the truth and told employees, listen, I'm new, this is uncomfortable for me, I'm not certain about this realm here. And in one way I said, like, listen, I need your help. It wasn't like from a it was just I felt like it was from a strong place, but still like authentic. Like, listen, I need your help, and I could see something shifted in their eyes. Where it's
Hmm.
like, and that's when there was that moment where something kind of clicked in, and it was okay for me to ask for help from employees to help me help me help you, just like in Jerry Maguire.
Right. Yeah, that absolutely makes a lot of sense.
Yeah,
Tell
yeah.
me about, so I understand a little bit about adding employees. Tell me about adding clients. What was that like? Did you already have a small pipeline of that from being a practitioner at your other office? I'm not really sure how that
Yeah,
works transitioning people over to your own thing. So,
I did. I think it was a frustrating thing when I was first new and I asked that same question, and some chiropractors were like, I don't know, people just showed up. And so, I think that's going to be my first. I'll have two answers, but I think that that's one is that I now, from my perspective, there is truth in if I build this and I have a certain intention to help and love people and have a great time doing that, then people come.
absolutely.
Yeah. So I would say that that's number one. But number two, I would say is that I built those relationships in BNI. That was one. And number two, I took insurance. Other practices, I was doing a self-pay practice, but I took on insurance this time, which helped to refer people. And I set myself up in a neighborhood where there's lots of walk-by traffic.
Oh,
Um,
wow.
and so I have a parking lot right across the street. That's another key to success is parking,
Oh, yeah.
especially in a business like mine where people are coming in and going out. My visits are 15 minutes, so they come in and they go out. And to try to struggle to find parking, I'm sure would be a detriment. And so to have easy parking was certainly
Oh, yeah, it's
another key
definitely
to
valuable.
success.
Definitely valuable. Well, that makes a lot of
Indeed.
sense.
Yeah.
Well, that's good, my friend. I actually understand a lot about it. Wearing that boss hat was a little bit new to you, but you're very in tune with some of the finer things about the industry that you were going to work in, which is really really good for you. A lot of
Yeah.
those relationships and being out helped you kind of persist through some of those early growing pains. So you built the team around you, had the support around you to kind of get through what it takes as far as early businesses. We've all heard that stat that I think like 50% or 30% of businesses, something like that, only lasts 2 years, or whatever that stat is. It's constantly shifting up and down and changing. But everybody knows that infancy period for small businesses is dangerous, and I think that BNI experience in your industry and honesty are three huge pillars to overcoming a lot of those initial objections.
Yeah.
Sure. So tell me a little bit about where you're going now. Like, what is the what's the flow of your practice now? How many patients are you guys seeing every week, and where are you headed? You going to more locations, more practitioners? What does that look like?
More practitioners, not new locations. I have two kids. They're 13 and 10 now, and I like spending time with them.
Hmm.
So there was an opportunity to. There's a business that was right by my house. God, it was just the perfect situation, and the building was being sold too, and I just came to that. I didn't want to. I didn't want to expand in that way.
Makes a lot of
I like
sense.
my little place. I like my place here. So yeah, what's next is to start getting ready to retire.
Oh wow.
Now, I'm not planning to retire for, at least another 15 years. And if I involve myself in the process of being ready to retire, then that whatever that goal does for me has me be motivated to have this business run at the best that it possibly can as soon as possible. So by the time 15 years comes around, I've already set things in place and practiced those for 10 or plus years. So by the time it's time to sell the practice, that stuff's not, you know, just been just done. It's been set and
Mhm.
refined and refined and refined. So my number one goal right now is to hire people, which I have now, that are very attuned to making lists. So want to make as many lists as possible. I want to have as many procedures and policies set with all the clear steps with almost every single thing that we do here in the office, so that makes it incredibly easy to run. And if I need to switch employees, then it makes it super easy to train them. And like I said, by the time 10, 15 years comes around, I have a super clear playbook that's been really tested and been really refined and smoothed out, so that this business is a really attractive to sell.
Absolutely. Yeah, business in a box style of business. Yeah. Oh yeah, makes a lot of sense. What you gonna do when you retire? What you gonna spend more of your time
Ooh,
doing then?
wow, holy cow. Well, I'm built to play, so
Mm.
I'm gonna have a good time. I'm 52 right now. I mean, my goal, my health goal is to be in the best shape of my life when I retire. So so who knows? I got two kids. One of them is going to take over the practice. I don't know. We'll
Mhm.
see. Maybe it'll be, someone I'll hire, and then slowly we'll just kind of work it out so that I'll just be here very minimal, and then they'll take over.
Sure.
I have no idea. There was a chiropractor that he was 88 and he adjusted someone and he went home and he died.
Oh man. Man.
He worked to his last day.
Oh
Will
yeah.
that be me? I don't know.
Sure.
We'll
What do
see.
you like to do? You like to golf?
I do like to golf. I'm not very good though.
Oh, that changes with retirement, my friend.
It might be right. It might
I
be.
hear it changes with retirement. You spend a
Yeah,
little
yeah,
more
yeah. That
time
might
out
be
there in the fairway.
almost more. I gotta fix that left
Oh
hook,
yeah.
man.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I love to spend time with people. I love spending time with friends. I could imagine just like organizing my all my photos that have been sitting in boxes for years. Yeah, just spending time with my family, spending time with
Well,
friends.
that shows how much energy and focus you put on your business. If like what you're looking forward to is that me time that means something to you, almost that that heirloom type time. Like I'm gonna spend time doing these things that mean the most to me that nobody else would understand. So I think that speaks to your industry and what kind of person you are, and what you're excited about and the reverence that you have for your own industry. So
Yeah,
I think that's pretty. I think that's pretty cool, my friend.
yeah,
And you're setting yourself up where another thing I think is very interesting is that not a lot of people begin the business journey spending time thinking about what impact does this business have for the next generation of my family or whoever is going to be passed this business along to. And I think in the middle of the road, a lot of the time that gets skewed. a lot of the time that becomes not the focus of like spending so much time in your day to day that you kind of lose that mindset of like, oh, I have to set everything up to where later this is going to make a big difference for somebody else. And we talk about that all the time in my industry is like residual income and recurring income is so important. You have a pipeline of people, you have a value that you want to get paid on that as systematically and as frequently as possible. So I think the way that you're setting your business up and you're setting your life up is awesome, my friend. I think that there's a lot to learn from that and a lot to mimic in the business world for a lot of the people listening and myself. So I appreciate that, my friend. I have a couple more questions here for you. First, how do we get in touch with you? If we have anybody in our audience that wants to do some business with you, buy something from you, pick your brain about something, how do they find you?
It's a little bit of a long URL, but very effective. It's Village Chiropractic Oakland.com.
Love it. Love it.
Yeah.
And then, this podcast is called Burn the Ship, right? That moment is what we like to embody a lot of is the light switch that goes on in your brain when you say, I'm going all in on my own business. Describe the emotions and the ups and downs and excitement and what you were nervous about when you had that aha moment of it's time for me to go on to my own business. What did it feel like?
Yeah, I got good answers for that one. Wow. I mean, it felt obviously exhilarating and so full of possibility and so full of um, excitement to fulfill a vision and excitement to feel that, feel that excitement to fulfill a vision.
Right.
It also was terrifying. All the parts of me that don't feel as if I'm enough. When it comes to being a business person and fulfilling that role. Am I a great practitioner? Absolutely. Am I an excellent business person? Ooh, I have some. I got a little bit more. I got a little more static around that issue, and I think that that's the one. Of course, I want to continue always to be a better practitioner, and I want to always become a better business person. But to fulfill that, the possibility of me answering that question the same, that's the one that I think I will continue to work on.
Sure.
To say
Sure.
I like that.
Yeah.
I like that goal to be able to really say like, hey, I'm an excellent business person.
Yeah, well, you have a bunch of
Really
people
feel it
that
all over the
that
place.
relate to you in the audience. We have a ton of people listening that are that are excellent at what it is that they do, and Burn the Ship and you and I and everyone else that's been involved has had one goal, and it's to answer that how do I do it question. What do I need to do? Who do I need to talk to? Where do I need to go? And we're all doing it for the same reason is that, fulfillment is almost unanimously what business owners talk about when they talk about the value of their business is that fulfillment and the value that they bring to the people that they do business with, and that excites me. You know what I mean? The money and the success and all of those things will absolutely come when you're providing value to people in a way that they need it. So for you to say, hey, I'm good at what I do and I want to keep getting better at the business side of things so that I can really push that influence in the right direction, you're talking to the choir, my friend. You're preaching to the
Yeah,
choir
right.
because we are all in that same boat. That I know a ton, overwhelming amount about my industry and just being a better business owner and being a better sales leader and being a better business person is at the top of the goal list every day. So you get a little bit better at that, and I think we're all closing the gap. So I think that's a great way to end this episode. I appreciate you fully, my friend. Thank you so
Thank
much
you.
for coming on and giving us
Yeah.
your perspective on your business. If you have anything else to say, please don't let me cut you off. But that's all the questions I have for you, my friend. I think we brought a lot of
Well,
value
that's
here today.
great. And I love talking about myself. So thanks for asking me great questions.
Absolutely, we'll have to touch base again in a few months and talk again. See if we can't get some feedback on this podcast. Maybe people have some more questions for us to answer.
Thanks, God. Really appreciate it.
Absolutely, my friend. Talk to you soon.
Okay.